Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you may have noticed, I brought with me a little guest. It's being a little shy, eh? You wanna say hi? So, this is my little garter snake, and his name's Wiggles. And in this video, I just wanted to give some brief yet concrete information so that, if you have a garter snake or some kind of reptile, you can make sure that you take care of it properly. A garter snake is you could call them like a semi-aquatic creature, because they normally would live along like the edges of an aquatic environment. So like they're not a water snake, they're not always in the water, but they might live along the edge of a swamp, and they mainly live on like earthworms and crickets. A lot of people who end up keeping them in captivity feed them pinkies. Wiggles is far too small to be eating pinkies, which is like baby rats or baby mice. But for health benefits, yeah. For health benefits, it is most beneficial to feed them a varied diet. Just worms from the bait store, like bait and tackle kind of thing, are not the most nutrient dense foods. They can eat fish, and they love fish. Don't you, Wiggles, eh? You love fish. Yeah. But the one thing with fish that you have to keep in mind is there's this vitamin or something. It's called like thiaminase or something. Can't remember how to pronounce it. I think it's like thiaminase, something like that. But basically, most fish, so this will apply to you if you have a garter snake. Most fish have this nutrient blocker in them, and it will cause a nutrient deficiency in the garter snake that can actually cause seizures. And like, I don't want Wiggles to be having a seizure or stroking out on me, because that would not be good for you. No. So, guppies and platies are two fish that, from my research, which was quite extensive through Google, so I'm trying to save you some time on this, is if you feed them guppies and platies, those do not have the negative, like the nutrient blocker in them, thiaminase there. But you still can feed them minnows and stuff once in a while. Just make sure that that's not all their diet is, or they're gonna have seizures. And you don't want that. If you want to take good care of your pets, you don't want them to have a seizure. Another interesting point that I've been asked a bunch of times, which is a really good question, is do you have to hibernate your snakes? Do you have to hibernate, eh? And if they're babies, from what I've read online, hibernation isn't as vital. However, if they're adults, it is really important to hibernate them once in a while. Not necessarily every year. However, it will optimize their lifespan, because it really puts them through a period of like fasting. And that was the point when I was researching. I was trying to figure out why? What's the beneficial reason? And it's because when they go in 3-4 month period of dormancy, they're not eating during that time. They'll still need water, and they're a heating pad, but you don't want any light, and you want to make sure that they're just kind of put away in like a closet or something. Wiggles has never gone through the hibernation process, just because I want Wiggles to grow and to be happy. And I think that because he's so small, it said that online it was more important for them as they're adults, because it allows their whole body to clear out of any fecal matter, and the same as if a person does a cleanse, or a fast. It is important for the snake's body to experience that cleanse every once in a while. But you still want to make sure that it has water, right? Because you're still going to be drinking. And no food though, really. Doesn't have to be for the whole period of winter. So depending on where you live, if winter is like, 4 or 5 months, it doesn't have to be that whole time period. It could just be 1 month. But you just want to make sure that the snake goes through that cleanse, because that's the vital or important part. Yeah, it's very important that they have, there's a little, the glow, I don't know if you noticed over there, but that's Wiggles' tank. Very important that it is closed, like secure lid, okay? Because garter snakes are escape artists, and Wiggles actually got out of that aquarium like 2 or 3 times, which was pretty lucky that we still found you. Because, yeah, if your garter snake gets out of the aquarium or its container, you're probably not going to see it again. So make sure that the lid is on there really tightly and doesn't have any little cracks or crevices that it could squeeze through. It's really important, like I said, to have like a heating pad or a light. Wiggles has both, and some kind of water bowl that they can, that's actually big enough that they can kind of swim around in. It doesn't have to be too deep, but, just so that they can have it for drinking. And, yeah, you don't have to feed them every day. They will want food every day. But they are opportunistic eaters, so they will overpower things that are smaller than them. But they're really smart, and he's never bitten me once. Yeah, it's just really important that the cage is secure. It has a heat source, whether that be the light or a heating pad, or in Wiggles' situation, both. And if you were gonna have one or the other, I'd probably just go with the light, as they are a basking creature. They like to bask in the sun. And if you're gonna have both, like a light and a heating pad, have them all grouped on the same side of the aquarium, so that there's kind of like a warm side, and then there's a really cool side where the snake can go and just like relax if it doesn't want to be in the heat. Because as a cold-blooded creature, they regulate their body temperature themselves. So if they're digesting food, it's really important that and you'll probably notice after you feed them, that they'll go and bask in the light, because they need the heat to help in proper digestion of their food. And then, if they're not, once they're done digesting or whatever, or if they're just in a little more of a, what do you call it, like recessive mode, or they're just relaxing, then they might want to actually be in the more cool, dark corner, like when they're sleeping and stuff. Yeah. But I'm almost at 10 minutes now, so I think I'll try to wrap up the video. Make sure that there's rocks and twigs and stuff that the snake can play around with. And another interesting thing with garter snakes is that they are one of the only snakes that is social, and you can keep them in an aquarium, multiple different species of garter snake, and they will actually get along. And very, very rare instances of cannibalism, mainly like if they were starving to death or something. But they're a very social creature, and you can house like a dozen of them in like a 10-20 gallon tank, which is really saying something. Like, they're very social creatures, because even like beta or Siamese fighting fish, you can only have like one male per tank, because like they'll fight each other to the death. So garter snakes actually like companionship. And being socially engaged, and very curious animals as well. So I want to get Wiggles another little snake buddy. So just I think he might be a little lonely in the aquarium, and I don't know if you can tell or not, but he's doing his little tongue flick thing, and he's just really curious at the moment, because he thinks I'm gonna feed him. Because usually when I take him out, I do feed him. So he's just like, food? Where's the food? Yeah. I'll say bye, and we will see you in the next video. I hope that you enjoyed my little summary of garter snakes. They live like 8 to 10, I think 10 years or something was the top, but about 8 years. And this is just a baby. So we'll see him when he's all grown up. I just kind of, wanted to show you guys. And have a lovely day or night, depending on where you are. Bye.